welcome you to the Riverside Weekly. We hope your time with us today is thought-provoking, spiritually challenging, and a life-changing experience. Our discussions and messages can be raw, real, and at times very uncomfortable and even controversial. We highly encourage all of our guests and listeners to take notes, leave comments, and when possible, always share what you hear. And now here are your hosts, Pastor Selo and Pastor Mia.
Welcome, everybody.
What's up, guys?
Hi.
How y'all doing?
It's Wednesday.
The day after Election Day.
And I just want to say, if you're reading this, it's too late. Ba-dum-bum. And I was going to say...
Woody and Buzz 20.
Woody and Buzz 20, yeah. To the White House and beyond. I mean, at this point, it could have went either way. But if you're reading this, that means we made it through the night and my grandma's prayers worked. So...
We'll see what happens. You guys already know what happens.
Yeah.
We don't know what happens right now because it's super early. We're still waiting for results and all that stuff.
Yeah,
Anyway.
because we could have hanging chads. We might have to have recounts. And Chad, if you're out there, hang in there.
Yeah. Mail-in ballot.
Yeah.
Fraud.
Yeah, no telling what it is. I mean...
Okay, enough of that.
Why? I mean...
Oh my God, somebody's mad.
No, I mean, don't be mad. We're just making light of the situation. People are out there praying. What happens? What do you always say?
People are going to do what people are going to do. So, there you go.
That's it. So, I did what I do, and that's make shirts. My shirt could have said... other stuff, but it didn't. It didn't say anything. It's just making light of the situation. I mean, in 2020 was a ride, so whatever happens in this election, it can't be any worse than 2020.
So, whoever wins.
Whoever wins,
and whoever wins, and we'll all just
We're going to pray through it. I mean...
Just don't forget rent's due on the 1st.
That was 4 days ago, 3 days ago? Yeah, I don't know.
So rent's due.
Yeah. So... Anyway.
So what are we talking about today?
So today, because of the elections, and not really because of the elections, this actually happened several months ago, but we kind of been...
Weeks. I wouldn't say months.
Weeks. Oh, okay. Weeks. Several weeks ago. You're right.
She has no concept of
time.
I
really don't. I have no concept
of time. 3 weeks ago. I'm like, that was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Anyway, so keep going.
Anyway, that escalated quickly.
Real quick. Okay.
So basically, I wanted to talk about each man for himself. I know that sounds kind of funny.
Every man for himself.
Every man for himself. And what made me think about that was the story that I told you about. I don't know how many of you watch the news. I do not. I get notifications from KWTX. Yeah, he does.
I watch the news.
I don't. But he didn't know about this story, and I told him. So this man and this lady were driving, and... They actually went to buy something, I guess. And
at a store. They were at a
store. Yeah,
at
a store. They left their kids in the parking lot in their car at the front door. Not like...
So the car was running.
Yes.
And parked in front of the store with 3 kids in it.
No, 2.
2 kids in it.
A 10-year-old and a 14-year-old.
A 10-year-old and a 14-year-old. Okay. I'm setting the stage.
Thank you. Thank you for setting the stage. The 14-year-old was a girl. The 10-year-old was a boy. The guy stealing the car jumps in the truck. He takes off with the 10-year-old and the 14-year-old. The story says, and this was in Killeen. It's not even Waco, so don't think you know who it is.
Well, now we know it's somebody in Killeen.
Yeah. So the lady, the girl, the 14-year-old, as the man drove off in the car, she jumps out of the truck so that she could tell her mom and dad that were in the store what happened. Okay, I had a problem with that because she left the 10-year-old baby boy in the truck.
I wouldn't say baby boy.
Mira,
10 years
Mira,
old.
he can't walk. Mira, he can't walk. He's 10.
Oh,
and
my
if he,
baby
if he's
boy.
Listen,
Younger.
Listen, Mira,
Yes.
Mira.
Younger,
if
baby.
he's a Mexican boy of any kind, then he can't walk.
Was it Mexican?
I don't know. I'm just saying. Mexican moms be like, Mira, he can't walk. He can't even walk, and he's 10.
Okay.
So
10-year-old kid,
yeah.
Baby, in quotations, parentheses.
Yeah. And so the sister jumps out so that she can tell her mom what happened, right? And So she gets beat up and banged up because she jumps out. And I thought to myself, I was so mad. I said, how dare she leave this 10-year-old boy in there with this guy that she doesn't know what's going to do? Listen, if you're kidnapped and you're in the back seat of a king cab truck, that's where they were. Don't jump out and leave your 10-year-old brother back there. Drag him with you or push him out.
Push him out
something.
first.
I mean, and I was so upset because I was like, this little... You know,
Beep, 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 beep.
yeah.
Okay.
I was like, she left that baby in there. And I'm like, God, save yourself. You know, she wasn't even worried about him. She was worried about herself. And you're like, oh, Pastor Mia, she jumped out so she could tell her mom and dad. She left her phone in the truck so they could GPS it. Bull. That's not what happened. I'm sorry.
Did she leave her phone in the truck?
I don't know.
Oh.
Do you know?
No, but I'm about 99% sure
didn't.
she probably did have a phone.
Yeah, with her, right?
It's hard pressed to find a young person without a phone these days, especially a 14-year-old.
Well,
So just saying, just hypothetically, they didn't say all those details, but my thinking, kind of like you, is that most likely she probably had a device. The kid probably, the 10-year-old baby probably had a device. So there was probably a device, mobile device in there somewhere. So the issue that kind of thinking or in our discussion was, why didn't she just call
the mom
or dad
or 911?
And why did she jump out? Right?
Yes, that is correct.
So, now you want my thoughts.
Yes, because I specifically said, why would she do that? Why would she think of herself only and not her brother? Am I not my brother's keeper?
No.
Yes, you are. I'm sorry. Cain.
Well, the idea.
Cain and Abel, she just was like, bah, stay. And I'm like, ah.
Yeah.
He was a baby, you know?
What the baby?
Okay, he was in my book.
That's
debatable.
I don't know if I agree with that, being a baby. Youngest, maybe, possibly.
Anyway.
So the issue that you were bringing up was the fact that she left her younger sibling in the vehicle with this strange man stealing the vehicle.
Yes.
My response to you when we were having the conversation is that's normal in today's society because we're taught, we're trained, we're cultivated with the mindset of every man for himself.
Okay, and explain every man for himself.
Every man for himself, and
I'm
that's
still
her thought
irritated
process.
about the story, and it's happened like 3 weeks ago, and I don't even know who she is.
So that's the.
If you're listening out there, you ratchet little girl. Okay, anyway, I'm sorry.
So that's the thought process that we live in. That's the society we live in. Is we scream community, we scream to support one another, to help one another, but really. We're not really programmed that way. We're not really, and I say programmed, the social media, the news, movies. I mean, everything that we have is about, I'm going to do me, boo-boo. Don't worry about everybody else. It's about me. It's about this. And so when you get that, and especially at a younger age, you're just watching it play out in real life. So she only did, really, in my opinion, what she's been trained to do, which is think about herself, not thinking about her sibling. And right now somebody's disagreeing. No, I don't teach my kids that. I don't believe that. Most of us, when you put into when we're put into really, really stressful situations that are dangerous, we're in the natural going to think. Most of us are going to think. Every man for himself.
Save yourself.
You know, I'm thinking about I'm thinking about George Costanza on Seinfeld when they have the fire in the birthday.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't know, I don't know what episode that is, but there's a most of you guys, if you watch Seinfeld, you'll know what I'm talking about. But he's at a birthday party, small trash can catches on fire, and he pushes over old ladies, knocks kids down, and he's like the first one out of the burning apartment, which didn't even burn, right? And so that's how we're programmed to think, is like it's every man for himself, and that's how we think a lot of times. So this young lady, this young girl, she's literally doing or behaved exactly what's programmed into us, and it's sad because that's what happened, but we shouldn't be shocked. You shouldn't be shocked.
I'm not shocked. I'm irritated. I'm mad.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Why do we let those things bother us if this is what we instill into our culture? If we instill, like, I'm not saying it's right, but when you get left hanging there because all your people are thinking about themselves, like, yeah. I'm every man for himself, you know, that's what you get. You get that in society. You get that in everything, you know, like we like team playing unless the team does something that we don't want to do. And
then you take your ball and go home.
Take your ball and go home. It's every man for himself, and we don't care. So I think that's probably the most disturbing aspect and the bothersome aspect is knowing that that's being ingrained into our kids, into our teenagers, into our culture, and has been, that we actually see that a girl will actually just leave her sibling, you know, okay, I'm out. I'm jumping out of the moving car so I can save myself.
Yeah, I get it that you don't like your sibling, but don't leave them to die, you know?
Always taking the covers from me. Won't play with toys.
Yeah.
Bothers me all the time.
Yeah, irritates me. But most siblings, they are irritated by the other one, but they will stick up for them. So...
yeah, that's debatable.
Nah, it's not debatable. It's not. That's just one of those things.
Well...
It's family.
If that was true, then why did she jump out of the car?
I have no idea.
That's my point. That's what I'm saying.
I was just like, bro, you better, what? You left that baby in the truck and we're supposed to call you a hero? You left a 10-year-old in there. He didn't know what to do.
Did they call her a hero?
I don't know.
Oh.
I'm just saying.
I was going to be like, wait, what?
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I have quite a few grandkids. And if one of them is mean to the other, that irritates me because I'm like, they're your cousin, especially if they're brothers and sisters and they're fighting and they're not sharing. I'm like, then none of you can have it if one of you didn't get it. So if the girl jumped out, don't you think she should have grabbed her brother and went out the door with him or kicked him out first because she's 14? She knew how to handle herself.
Maybe the baby was strapped into a car seat that had a whole bunch of connective locks in it, and it was too much trouble to try to get him out because he was securely fastened into the seat.
He was 10.
I don't know. He's a baby.
He was 10.
He's a baby.
I'm just saying. He was 10. So, he just didn't...
Now he's 10. Now he's 10. Now he's not a baby. Now he's 10.
He couldn't think, of how to save himself. I mean, he may not have been strapped. He might have been a big 10. But he couldn't get out of this car.
So maybe he was overweight and heavy.
Then he would have rolled right out.
Now we're talking about people's kids. This is bad. We don't even know these people. We were talking about these folks.
I'm just saying he could have rolled right out. She could have knocked him out of the car. I'm just saying. Okay. Listen.
You feel like she was wrong.
She abandoned him.
She abandoned him. And I agree. I'm not saying I disagree. I think that we programmed it into kids. We programmed that into our family units. We programmed it into individuals. Like, save yourself.
Save yourself.
Every man for himself.
I'm sorry. I watch quite a few movies, and they say save yourself, but then they end up not saving themselves. They end up saving their friend.
I'm telling you, it's different. It's different when it's an emergency. It's different when you have these circumstances, right?
So let me sum it up with this. Let me sum it up with this.
Different.
So there's this new movie that just came out. It's called Under the Moon. And it's a new Asian kid movie, okay? And very rare do they do like not gentrification, what's it? Culture. Very rare do they do culture movies like that,
Gotcha.
Okay? But this is an Asian tale cartoon. And so I watched it with my grandkids the other night, and the little girl loses her mom, and so her dad is going to remarry.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Anyway, the little boy, the sister, again, 14, the little boy, 10, I don't know, they're somewhere in there. But the little girl doesn't like the little boy, and the little boy is trying to get to her. And, he's like, I can be your brother, and you're going to be my sister. And she's like, no, whatever, however kids do. And then at the end, he is really, really trying to get to her, and he does everything. And his statement is, I have a sister to save. How do we know that 10-year-old wasn't thinking that? Maybe he shoved her out. Who knows? I don't know. But all I thought to myself was, this broad left that baby in that truck. And that was all
Here's my emoji.
Shrugs.
Shrugs. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't have anything to say.
Yeah. I'm just saying that I feel like the society needs to reread or re-emphasize that scripture, am I not my brother's keeper? Cain killed his own brother. Horrible. It happens every day. It's not new, right? But if we could retrain our kids and adults to not think of every man for himself. Save yourself. Yeah. No.
I don't know. When we have big gatherings of people eating and meetings, I say that all the time. But I always say, every man pray for himself. Instead of everybody praying together, like a group prayer over the food.
Yeah.
Or like everybody's making their own meals.
Everyone pray for themselves.
Everybody pray for themselves.
That's still that kind of thinking too.
I know that. That's why I brought it up.
I don't like that.
Oh, it's just funny. Well, it's because when you have people, when you're doing that, people are coming and going, and it's hard to get everybody just to like freeze for a second.
Well, that's when you whistle, and you don't want me to whistle, because I will whistle.
Okay.
And then everyone will come to a halt.
Yeah.
What happened? So let's retrain so that people are not thinking every man for himself. It's not every man.
Don't think that way.
Please. It's not every man for himself. And if you have siblings or you have kids, please teach them that it is not every man for himself. You are your brother's keeper. And if someone is getting ready to, jump him, help him. If someone is getting ready to beat him up or bully him, help him.
If you're at a store and somebody jumps in your vehicle and drives off, don't leave everybody else in the vehicle. Grab somebody or stay in the vehicle.
Yes. Yeah, that too. Grab someone. Don't jump out by yourself. And if you need to tuck and roll, then tuck them in and roll. I mean, I'm still beside myself that this little girl did that. So, anyway.
We'll have therapy session tomorrow.
Good. Let's do it. We're going to need therapy anyway after the voting continues. Right? So,
for real.
Anyway, hopefully that helps some of you. Let's not think about our presidents. Let's just pray for them that they too do not have the mentality, each man for himself. No, we're not. We're together, united as a kingdom. So, all right.
Oh, yeah.
Don't forget.
Yes.
So we have our 150th episode coming.
Man, we will see you guys this weekend. Hope you guys join us. If you haven't been able to or haven't heard, download our app. You can once you download our app in your app store, it's the Riverside Waco. Download it, tap the banner, and it'll get you to reserve your spot. Now,
unless if it doesn't reserve it, it's because that means we're full.
It means we're full, so I'm so sorry if you missed it. But if you want to try to squeeze in and pop up and show up in case somebody doesn't show up, you can do that. Super excited, man. 150 episodes next week. And, man, we'll see you guys there. Like, share, subscribe, and share, and post, whatever.
Yeah. All right. See you guys.
I'll talk to you guys later. We'll see you guys.
Soon.
All right.
Bye.
Talk to you later.
Thank you for listening to the Riverside Weekly. Download the Riverside Waco app to stay connected and follow us on all social media sites at the Riverside Waco. This podcast is made possible by the givers of Riverside Community Church. Production and engineering provided by Capital G and RTV in Waco, Texas.